All right, let's jump right in. If you're looking to reclaim your time and completely optimize your daily workflow, you are in the right place. In today's explainer, we're unpacking exactly how to move from that manual, pull your hair out frustration to seamless, automated efficiency using AI. And look, this isn't just a bunch of high level theory. We're building a highly practical playbook you can start using today. So be honest, how much of your day is just entirely wasted on repetitive tasks? You know the drill, manually updating spreadsheets, copy-pasting customer details, endlessly triaging your inbox, or typing up literally the exact same follow-up email for the 50th time this week. It is soul-crushing, right? You're losing incredibly valuable hours to manual chores that simply do not require your unique human creativity. To actually escape that trap, we've got to talk about a major paradigm shift. Right now, a lot of folks are just using AI as a chatbot. You type a prompt, you wait, you manually copy the results. Okay, sure, it's helpful, but it's still a manual chore. True automation means building workflows. We're talking about building powerful, invisible engines that run continuously in the background for you. They pull data, they make routine decisions, and they execute tasks without you even having to lift a finger. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for the explainer. First, we'll look at the automation opportunity, then the AI workflow, move on to some everyday examples, cover keeping humans in control, and wrap it all up with a concrete 30-day plan. Starting with Section 1, the automation opportunity, because before we build anything, we need to figure out exactly which tasks are actually worth handing off to AI and which ones need to stay firmly on your desk. As it turns out, there's a pretty specific set of traits that make a task an absolute dream for AI automation. You really want to look for chores that are repetitive, time-consuming, and strictly rule-based. By that, I mean they follow a very clear, logical sequence. If a task is digital, happens frequently, and the final output is super easy for you to verify, bam, that is a prime target for automation. Now, what's really interesting about this is how you can actually score your own workday to find those high-impact tasks to automate immediately. It's all about balancing frequency against the nature of the task. So, daily manual data entry? Huge opportunity score. But something like developing a client strategy, even if you spend an hour a week on it, has a really low automation score. Why? Because it requires human judgment, nuance, and relationship building. AI isn't here to replace that stuff. Moving on to Section 2, the AI workflow. Let's shift gears and look at the actual mechanics of building one of these automated solutions. Think of an AI workflow kind of like giving clear, unbreakable rules to an incredibly diligent digital intern. It always starts with a trigger, say a new email hits your inbox. Next, the input is collected. Then, during AI processing, the system reads that input to figure out exactly what's needed. From there, it makes a decision on the next step, takes action, like drafting a response, and finally pushes it to review, where you give it a look over. This six-step loop, this is the core engine behind all automation. All right, Section 3, everyday examples. Let's take that exact six-step framework and apply it to some of the universal pain points we all deal with. Let's start with everyone's absolute favorite headache, right? The inbox. Instead of the manual misery of reading every single message and drafting replies from scratch, an automated workflow totally changes the game. The AI can automatically classify incoming emails, detect the high-priority ones, and even draft responses using your company's own files. It literally transforms your inbox from a source of absolute dread into a neatly organized list that's just waiting for your quick approval. And this brilliantly illustrates how AI tackles another massive time sink: meetings. The old, manual way means distracted note-taking and tedious follow-ups that eat up your entire afternoon. But with an automated meeting workflow, the AI transcribes the recording, whips up concise summaries, pinpoints the key decisions, and extracts action items with deadlines attached. You can actually just be present in the room, fully knowing the admin work is being handled in the background. Research and content creation are also prime targets for this. The manual problem usually looks like endlessly organizing messy PDFs or just staring at a blank page waiting for inspiration. The AI solution? It steps in to do the heavy lifting by analyzing and categorizing the information and then generating a highly structured first draft. But, and this is a critical reminder from our sources, fact-checking, comparing those sources and applying your critical eye, that remains absolutely essential. You still have to do that part. Let's look at Section 4, keeping humans in control. Now, if you're starting to feel just a tiny bit nervous about handing over the keys to a machine, don't worry. We need to talk about the vital safety guardrails for responsible automation. So the crucial point is a concept called human in the loop. This is an automated system where human judgment, approval, or intervention is explicitly required before a workflow is actually finalized. Listen, we are not advocating for unchecked AI running wild here. You are the conductor. The AI is simply playing the instruments.
And you control that loop through 3 different levels of autonomy. Think of it like training a brand new employee. At level 1, the AI just assists. It recommends things, but you do the actual work. At level 2, the AI prepares. It does the heavy lifting, but you explicitly have to click approve. Then at level 3, the AI executes fully automatically. If you're a beginner to all of this, it is highly recommended to stick exclusively to levels 1 and 2. Keep your hands firmly on the wheel for now.
Ignoring these guardrails is a recipe for easily avoidable mistakes. First off, do not automate a bad process. If your workflow is chaotic when you do it manually, AI is just going to create chaos at the speed of light. Also, avoid giving the AI way too much authority, and don't ignore those weird edge cases. But the absolute biggest one, exposing confidential information. Never, ever connect sensitive personal or financial data to a third-party AI tool without fully understanding their privacy policies. Okay, bringing it home with Section 5, the 30-day plan. It's time to give you a concrete, actionable launchpad so you can start reclaiming your time this week. But before you build anything, you've got to know if it's actually worth your effort. Use this simple return on investment formula. Take the time saved, multiply it by the value of your time, and then subtract the automation cost. You want to be absolutely sure you're gaining real, valuable time back. Because if an automation tool takes you more time to manage than it actually saves you, yeah, that's not automation. That's just an expensive new hobby. Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds over the next month. Here is your exact homework. Week 1 is purely about discovery. Just document how your processes currently function. In week 2, automate just one simple, low-risk task to get your feet wet. Week 3, you improve, refine those AI prompts and rules. And finally, week 4 is when you scale and safely start connecting multiple workflows together. We'll wrap up with this incredibly powerful takeaway from the source material. The objective here isn't just to eliminate work so we can sit around and do nothing. The goal is to eliminate unnecessary repetitive work so humans can focus on creativity, judgment, relationships, and strategic thinking. So take a hard look at your calendar for tomorrow. If you could suddenly hand off 3 hours of manual, mind-numbing data entry to an AI workflow right now, what incredible strategic work would you finally have the time to accomplish? Thanks for joining us for this explainer. Now go take your time back.